Hi, welcome back to SQL Server 2016 Administration. This is the Advanced Administration and Security section, and this video is on dynamic data masking. In this video, we'll describe how dynamic data masking works to protect and obfuscate some of the data in your system. We'll learn how we can apply this to columns in a table. Dynamic data masking is new in SQL Server 2016 and also in Azure SQL Database, and it's designed to change data returned from queries without actually making application changes or functional changes to the data in the database. Now, it's really designed to ensure some consistent masking for any data that's returned in queries rather than any security. And each column that needs to be masked is set up individually. So this is a column level feature, not a table level feature. Now, the data masks can be defined at table creation time, or they can be added later to a table with the alter table statement. Now, this is not a security feature. It is not designed to protect your data. It's designed to kind of, obscure or change the way data is returned to users with limited permissions. It can be, however, substantial data leakage with ad hoc queries or any type of access the user has to statistics or anything else. So it's really not a security feature in any sense of the word. It's really an application programming feature that makes it simple to mask data in a consistent way. Now, there's an unmasked permission available to users that lets them see all data. This unmasked permission is database level, not the table or column level. So if you grant this, every user with unmasked can see all the data. Since this feature takes place on the server side with the query results being returned, it doesn't work with always encrypted. There are also limitations with file stream, column sets, and more. So if you plan to use dynamic data masking, please spend some time in books online and verify that your particular application is not affected. Now, there are various types of masks can be used for your data. The default mask changes what's returned based on the data type. So numeric types versus date types versus string types return different data. The email mask type made to work specifically with email fields. It doesn't detect or validate any email fields, but what it does is it converts all domains to the .com suffix, and then it would return the first letter of the string and then X's for everything else. So designed for emails, if you could apply it to any string though, and you would get that same result. There is a random mask for numeric values, which will return a random number, and you can set some values around that. And then there's a custom mask that's designed for strings to let you have a little more control over which types of masks data is returned and which types of data is shown through. So let's look at this in a demo where it will make a little more sense. Here we are back in Management Studio, and let's take a look at our order detail table. And when we look at this, you'll see that I have a number of items. Things I want to focus on is I've got product names here that are of various lengths, but these are strings of products. And then I have unit prices here, and you'll notice that they vary, but they're all greater than 1. So they're fairly large prices in some cases. So let's mask product name. In this case, I'll use a simple alter table command with alter column. And unlike other alter columns, I don't need the data type and the nullability and other items in here. What I do need to do though is I say with this, I'm going to say add masked with. And then in parentheses, I say function, and then I give it a string value, and this is the masks that I want to apply. In this case, I'm going to use the default masking type here. Now, once I do that, if I query the table, everything looks the same. I still see these string values that were there before. But let's look at this as an unprivileged user or a user with limited rights. In this case, I'm going to execute as a user that's a normal user with no special permissions other than select on the table. When I do that, you'll notice that X's are returned for the string. In fact, 4 X's are returned. If this were a numeric value, I'd get zeros. A date would return a specific value. Let's try another option. So I want to alter the table again. This time I'm going to alter the product name again, and I'm going to add a masked with the partial function. Now, if you remember from the description, this is a custom mask feature that lets me choose what to return. In this case, I'll return the first 5 values of the string. Then I'll return 6 X's and then nothing at the end. So let's run that. And now when we query that table as that user, you'll notice I see 5 string items from the original name and then X's all the way out. If I don't have 5 values, I just receive X's. So this allows me to do something here at the beginning of the string if that was what I wanted to do. Perhaps it was names or something else. Certainly I could reverse this and return just the ending values if I wanted as well. Let's look at random values. Now in this case, I'm going to alter the unit price column. Again, these are all greater than 1. This time I'm going to say a random value between 0.1 and 0.9. Once I do that, as a different user will query that. I could use the same user. Again, this user still sees the mask here because they have no sysadmin privileges. However, for the unit price now, you'll see that I've got values between 0.1 and 0.9. Now our manager sees the same thing, but I may not want that person to have those same results. So I can grant unmask to this user. That's a permission that works like any other grant, select, or execute, or insert, or anything else. Now this particular user will see the original data as it appears in the table. Now none of the data is changed in the table, it's just the query results that are masked when this works. I could certainly remove the permissions as well, and we would see them return to the masked values, but this is an idea of what I can do. And again, you can customize this to work with yourself, but it is not secure. There are ways to get around the security, and there's certainly leakage with statistics in other areas. This concludes our Advanced Administration and Security section, where we looked at encryption features, transparent data encryption, always encrypted, and column level encryption. We also looked at row level security and dynamic data masking. In the next section, we'll move on to extended events.